going over the state and local general sales tax deduction worksheet, which you would find in the Schedule A instructions under line 5A. So when you itemize your tax deductions, instead of taking the standard deduction on your income tax return, generally line 5 is the area that concerns taxes that you might have paid to a state or a local agency. Specifically, in line 5A, you would either include state and local income tax or state and local general sales tax. On line 5A or 5A, you cannot deduct both income tax and state sales tax. So not every taxpayer will use this tax worksheet. In fact, anyone that uses the standard deduction will never see this. Anyone that itemizes but uses income tax, state income tax instead of sales tax would not see this form. And even if you do take the state and local general sales tax deduction, there are 3 ways that you can calculate it. So you can keep track of your actual expenses. You can go ahead and do that. And by calculating your actual expenses, you might be receiving a larger refund if you made big ticket purchases in the tax year. So if you bought a car or another piece of another vehicle, if you bought a motorhome, if you bought significant amounts of furniture, for example, any big ticket expenditures, you might be better off actually keeping your receipts for that. You can also use a sales tax deduction calculator that's located on the IRS website. Simply go to irs.gov/sales tax and it will walk you through similar calculations that we're about to go through in this tax form. However, you may find that based on your specific situation, maybe you find a way to get a bigger deduction. So for those of you who are still interested in using the sales tax deduction worksheet, you're going to use this in conjunction with sales tax tables that are located in the back of the Schedule A instructions. So this is for the 2022 tax year. They update tables every year. So in line 1, so you would see the instructions for line 1 of the worksheet if you lived in more than one state during the tax year, or if you had any non-taxable income in the year. So according to those instructions, you would, if you lived in the same state, you would enter the applicable amount based on your tax year income and family size from the applicable sales tax table for your state. If you would go through the columns for that state and find the line that includes your income for the tax year. So if you lived in more than one state, you would first look up the table amount for each state using the instructions, which we'll go over. You would multiply the table amount for each state by a fraction. So if your denominator is 365 days out of the tax year, then you would multiply each state by the number of days that you lived in the state. So if you lived in, let's say, Texas for half of the year and then you lived in Florida for the other half of the year, you would basically indicate 182 or 183 days for Texas, which is approximately one half, and then the rest of the days for Florida. And then you would combine those amounts. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll pretend that we're our hero, John Doe. He lived primarily in Texas for the tax year. So in this situation, John Doe, he has a family of 4, and let's say that his income was $100,000. So we would go to the tax table, which in this case would be on A15 of the Schedule A instructions. And for a family of four at $100,000, that would come out to $1,271. So that's what we're going to enter here. So if you lived only in these states, Connecticut, District of Columbia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, or Rhode Island, you would skip items 2 through 5. You would enter 0 on line 6, and then you would simply go to line 7. Otherwise, we're going to go through line 2. We're going to go through each of those step by step. So in step 2, did you live in Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, or Virginia? In this case, we're going to say no because we said that we lived in Texas. So we would check the no box and we would enter 0 in that box, and then we move down. So question 3, did your locality impose a local general sales tax in the tax year? So if you lived in California and Nevada, there are specific instructions for your worksheet that would pertain to you. So if you lived in California, you would check no if your combined state and local sales tax rate is 7.25%. Otherwise, you would check yes, but then you would only include the part that exceeds 7.25%. If you lived in Nevada, you basically would do the same thing, except your general sales tax rate would be 6.85%. If your combined amount was higher than that, then you would only include the amount that was subject to more than 6.85% tax. So if, let's just say that John Doe did live in a locality where they imposed a 2.5% tax rate, we would enter 2.5. If it changed, then there are specific instructions. You would basically prorate. So if your sales tax was 2% and then on July 1st they changed it to 3%, you would then calculate the number of days in the year that it was 2%. You would calculate the number of days in the year that it was 3%. You would keep each of those fractions divided by 365. You would average those out. You would come up with something very close to 2.5%. And then you would probably round to 2.5. So in line 4, you're going to answer whether or not you entered 0 on line 2. In this case, we did. So we would enter the sales tax rate for our state. So our state, which is Texas, happens to have a 6.25% state sales tax. So we're going to omit the percentage sign and we'll just put in 6.25. We'll divide the line 3 amount by line 4 and enter that as a decimal rounded to at least 3 places. So that ends up being 0.4. So now in line 6, we're going to answer the question, did we enter 0 on line 2? Well, yes, we did. So we would multiply line 1 by line 5, and then we would enter that amount right here. So 0.4 times the amount on line 1, which is 1271, and we get $508. Then if we had state and local sales taxes paid on specified items, so this would be motor vehicle, which could include a car, motorcycle, motorhome, recreational vehicle, sport utility vehicle, van, truck, off-road vehicle. It could be an aircraft or a boat. It could be a home, but only if the tax rate was the same as the general sales tax. And if your locality imposes a sales tax on the sale of a home or a major renovation, if you purchase materials to build a home or do major renovations, or if under state law your contractor is considered to be your agent in the construction of the home, and the contract must state that your contractor is authorized to act in your name and must follow your instructions on construction decisions, in which case you will be considered to have purchased the items that are subject to sales tax. So basically, if your state law says that you're paying sales tax for home-related improvements directly and not through your contractor, you would enter any specified sales taxes paid on those items. So let's just say that John Doe paid an extra $1,000. Now we're going to add lines 1, 6, and 7, and we get a grand total of $27.79. Now, you can put this in your Schedule A, line 5A. I would compare this to a number that you run through the IRS calculator just to see if there's a significant difference. I would also, if you do keep receipts, compare this to your actual expenses method. Again, this is a proxy based on your income. It's not an exact representation of the taxes that you might have paid. The IRS, I mean, for example, if someone had earned an extra $2,000 or $200,000 a year, let's just say John Doe earned $200,000 instead of $100,000. This would make his base up here $1,669, which would then have an impact on this number, which would then also impact this number. But it doesn't mean that he actually spent that money. So again, I would make sure that you compare the different options that are available to you. I would also compare this to any income tax that you might have paid. Again, if you live in a state that doesn't charge a state income tax, then this would be an easy comparison. And you do have 3 different ways that you can do this. We'll include a link to the entire article that we wrote on Schedule A. We'll also link this to other videos that we've done regarding Schedule A calculations, such as charitable contributions, other tax-related deductions that you may claim, so on and so forth. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.